Mr. Lynch, life's been forever. Good morning, Mr. Maestro Simple, Mr. Maestro Simple. Or simply, 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 or simply day. Yesterday, not day, Lynch, this is the last time, or last day that I showed you before. Pratica means, perhaps no means 9, 17 years, because tomorrow it will be as much better me. He said Mr. Lynch is at birthday, and so therefore will become a focus, some of life plus 5 su 10, pratica 0, 10, 20 birthday. It's January 19th. 2026 and it's a Monday in Naples today. Hey, totally cloudy. It's totally cloudy. Sky not CNG, also with light rain, and it's in fact this is light rain. And at the same time, also team is now if also with the wind light cold and heavy, but perhaps more cold and heavy, cold and heavy, and it's early afternoon 13 and there 13 and 32 minutes. 56 Fahrenheit 12 Celsius. This means it's really colder like this spirit coldest cascade temperatures for the winter period in such reports of 4 seconds because in effect China and 4 years last June 17 so fact we read over can 4 years reports as regard last but some no Murphy. In fact they follow the me no if they follow me during last but some I think body also fact we read over can also years reports regard the autumn now also for the winter come news last December 21 we enter in the winter so we decided 16 on 4 3 p.m. in Italy, where as rap some number remember think about Boris and Boris Chinese suppose he did. I'm sure at twice he remember the things for him, but associates me that my proposal fact we ocean to Chinese, it's better no perhaps paradox you to for me, and then you do the collaboration so on spring summer and youth, since fact spring so stuff for some, and check for the autumn once again, and soft so that in general for the season to be at classicity. Si vede di grigio, triste for me, also something was something that absolutely incomplete. At no, in this video, no, because it's winter, it's cool, so it's going to be complete, but when I see the sentence absolutely incomplete, I'm referring as referred to me. This in particular for this video, because perhaps in particular for this video, because I don't feel cool, but I feel cool less than the other people thanks to this of practice, but to practice stay follow and in some years which always stay very cold and when it comes in the winter period with the parts periods I always I had a comment which can speak with this practice faculty in this case because I had this comment I wrote this comment and in this case the first part first comment with an asterisk so someone is interested see the first part with an asterisk or first comment from what this practice I don't know first the più fluenti I think not because in fact I think the feel cool from reality I think yes no this depends on them I think 90-95% they feel cool however in general for me in some way what's good instead about to scat also to strange way absolutely I can say it I think just for is it il better at least ti si mi fa che mi fa some things in this in Gary after I think at 30 servizi just before 56 Fahrenheit 12 Celsius at l'important thing that don't see at ti ci vedi just before you vedi ça yes, the cortina sono the cortina jazz, mi ripensa, Santa Misciu è most perfect. Adesso suppose, the fact sono doesn't repeat is sky. Plus totally cloudy, white cloudy, but see more gray, less gray than white. And in fact, according to according considering last trend, last 2 weeks, Yes, 2 3 weeks. Consider with reader and CMS sensations. I think it's possible that not possible. I think it's most sure. Or practically sure that leader in it often because leader left not to become darker big and also that I very in because I bit is a reader lettering. But as recent obviously went on G and so readers and si faccio il sì, inizio di years can skin today. Yeah. Bad. So season, mythical winner, nu att kortin influx longer flowers mix ut. Mellan season nu kortin la strömme war, magari things non abbiamo usato borsi per in particolare per scortin was a beautiful grey kortin, beautiful print we mentioned that rip non the pass from fact the price kortin nu non losing se mente se rida così si che sono una combo max section should be the point third first comment perhaps forte comment one of them si rida in comment section e non più che ne sì da si di quelle from shot in me I think of yes. See the green flowers, longer flowers mix between the plants. Or if not, even better, should be better when you shot the practice first part of Udro, which Verusha should you the weather scatter see from this classic mythical room, from this classic mythical win is classic mythical room, because as well as there is also the other mythical room, the other mythical window. Or for a broader perspective, also from this other practically is the shot similar to the classical shot film on intersegue for the previous curtain beautiful curtain repeat for the beautiful pentagon benches perhaps for the first curtain on the story with the reports the color the curtain and if even if I don't remember exactly but surely the color curtain is still in cover image original one day sono in età messo luce But I was seeing these shots also related to the fact that perform the recent glory shoot and also the reason but tomorrow when this because if si mention also del test special sentence so che used for the previous curtain repeat beautiful pentagon benches perhaps also in case for the first curtain color curtain if also in case I don't remember exactly and also in case now see or use it for the see red use it for the new curtain so but repeat expression also in case for five times and this little picture sentence is it is but also and always better visible for me in its entirety during this shot at this point is mythical legendary shot. Si ricorda che il shooter con attivismo fantastic activism first days of last October it is important tool because important tool so is an activism in fact now I see red little speech of sentence for the continuous of it because so well so it repeat once again but also and always better visible for me its entity in this shot at this point is mythical legend shot. And finally, from a mythical keyboard an GX 640 PG 625 volts, in this case from this mythical legendary shot. Yeah, getting all the people follow legendary parts, instantly getting to air. So I'm running my system. So myself, process of best case. And finally, I hope you all get breakfast. Today it's late in general, also I expect my silly to me from us, even if as my meetings last December 31, in that occasion, in fact, for the first time, it's late in general, late for the record, but not at all for my hours in this video, because in this video it's a kind of normal to me make breakfast these hours, but at the same time it's late, yes, but above all important is this very from regular action seminar street with serving fucking breakfast Fenten assume to start with Fenten met start drinking the milk at Fenten and part met it was yesterday so think regular this regular seminar street so stretch I do repeat also si vede Diego late also ma si metà not more not things they are just really just in quote 32 minutes. That the important thing is remember settings and me also be fortunate so I'm really angry. And as we always say, breakfast and most buildings are forward. Absolutely. As you know, it's almost 1 year, or perhaps more than 1 year, and I always lost the quantities in like effect of the X from my research. On Friday, fangar things crashed for Friday ago, practically more, in this case, more than 4 weeks ago, and it was the fifth reason also with reports, beautiful red, black, not so what, 13th report in comparison with the previous, but several things that perhaps no who follow in particular fact Friday's weather report, and however, this should be the time, the period. I promise you it one day or one time, se non io damage better president today to start to listening so music speech and from Sarah shots of Lucy notes joke was what you but Mastoni what's and we also know shots for Sarah biscuits are my favorite fact that I'm in beautiful combos with beautiful biscuits and yes I think to one of the best not best kind of types are biscuits are chocolate chip cookies look with chip chocolate chip chips. Fatemi sicuro, fatto Mr. Lynch. But in particolare, I think se lui sarebbe, ne si fa fatto milk fa sono shot anche di scoffia così. Ma tu sei quick shock, fa così un tasto lo shot fragmenti video, se shot ne influence stuffing. Se monzi sono che lo sto conosci, per di dire sono io da c'è per sapere cosa non è quick si finisce da ci sono anzi su prezzi anzi I think 100 ne 88 89 90 dies sono che lo sto conosci per di dire sono io da c'è better su better. Vabbè, and since that month lo ti pattern certi detto once again the milk so very good news. È un indice also tecnico da breakfast, su questa pausa è in particolare mega benefic, sono i stress più da gioco, oltre ora talk about Mostonia, so for questo me think for first time so that video. And if in seven years che tolla Nicolas breakfast su questa mega bomba, sono things about CS fact if rabbio sia strada Conad, Italian sì, ragazzi mi sa second place position. Perhaps so che segue with the Palm, but in general second place position. Because at this position for me the Italian palm dark chocolate chip cereals fa cose due come nel menu because they are really super bar. Also, tomorrow is supposed to be non ti tomorrow what to go to 11. Now I see.